Hello, my name's Duncan and welcome to Back Away from Duncan Back Books. I've had a bit of time off. I did a video last week, I think, just saying that I was back, and it's just taken me a while to get back into sort of production because I generally find that the longer time I have off, the harder it is to get back into it. So this is just a bit of a sort of what I've picked up over the past couple of months, some books that you might like to see, and I thought I just shot it and I thought it was a nice easy way to sort of ease myself back into making videos again. I'm doing about 3 videos today, and then I've quite simple ones that I'm going to release over the next few days, and then I am going to do some sort of more longer form type stuff, hopefully for later in the week. So the first book I'm going to show you that I've got is Cage World by Colin Knapp. I'll try and push that there without the autofocus doing weird stuff. Don't know much about this author. Heard the name. Colin Knapp, sorry, not Knapp. Love the cover. Does it say the cover's why? But this is basically on a Dyson sphere, which is like an internal sphere, if you don't know what it is. And I was just intrigued. I've got a couple of books on science fiction books on Dyson spheres, so I thought I'd pick that one up. Yeah, the next book is one I've got several copies of, and what happened was a friend of mine sent me an email and said there's a bunch of Harry Harrison books on eBay, all signed, and they were being put up there by Age UK. So I went to have a look, and there was quite a few of them. There was some Stainless Steel Rat books, there was Wheel World, and some Death World books, and it looked to me like somebody had been to an event that Harry Harrison was signing many years ago and just taken a bunch of their books and got them all signed. So I don't know whether this was them selling it on or somebody selling them on for them, but they were price-wise weren't too bad. These are obviously not been certificates with them showing their signature, but I did some research when I saw the picture of the signature to find out if it was real, and I'm 99.9% sure this is real. I'm not big into signed things, but Harry Harrison is one of my favourite authors, and I thought it might be a nice one to add to my sort of Harlan Ellison signature I've got. So I picked up, I could only really afford one of them, so I picked up the first Stainless Steel Rat book. I said I got about 3 or 4 copies of this. This is a wonderful Peter Elson cover that I adore, and signature, which I said I am pretty 99.9% sure is genuine, and I said there was a bunch of books all signed in them. It is there. Yeah, I'm not big for signed books, but it was quite nice. And I said I thought it would be a nice addition because I've got a Harlan Ellison one, which I just looked at. This is Web of the City, which I picked up in a charity shop in the back end of the 80s, early 90s in Frome in Somerset. And this has got Harlan Ellison's signature in it. And I've done some research, and I'm pretty sure that this is genuine as well. I thought it would be a nice addition to that. So that's why I picked up that Stainless Steel Rat book. I said I think there were 7 or 8 of the books there, and I would have loved to have picked up some more, but fund-wise, I couldn't really sort of justify it. So just to get that one is quite nice. A little Harry Harrison. I think for my be great if I could pick up some the other odd ones. I'd love an Isaac Asimov signed one, but I think they go for a lot more money. Okay, this next one is a replacement for a book I used to have that I got rid of in the Great Book Purge of the back end of the 1990s. God rest their souls. So it was just a replacement, and this is Anne McCaffrey's Get Off the Unicorn, which is a collection of short stories. And one of them's got the dragon story in there and some other ones. I'm trying to think what stories are in here. Lady in Tower, The Meeting of Minds, which was from her psychic ones book she's done, which is in there as well. But you've got The Smallest Dragon Boy, Proper Santa Claus. They're quite not bad little stories anyway. But I just wanted to get that. And I do adore this cover, which I cannot remember who did it. Chris Archielos, but I could be wrong. I'll probably put a thing down there and tell you. There's probably a pause there, and I'll just have to cut a bit because I paused thinking about it. Okay, next one. In my collection of books, I've got a thing about space elevators, if you know. If you didn't know. So the next one is a Larry Niven and Stephen Barnes book, The Descent of Anansi. And this involves a space elevator. And I'm all for space elevators. I really like the sort of concept of them. Next one is 2 books, which are all to do with, I'm trying to pick up a bunch of Forgotten Realms books, Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms books, sort of from the start to read them. And so I picked up Darkwell and Black Wizards, all by Douglas Niles. And this is part of the, what's the series called? There's just 3 books in this one. The Moonshade trilogy. So I've now got all 3 books, so I can now sit down and read them. Next, this is a new book, and this book is out of print. Tried to find an old copy of it, but it was going for, I think the cheapest one I could find was £44, which I thought was a bit thing. So I've ended up with the SF Masterworks one, which this is what SF Masterworks should be doing. I've always said about SF Masterworks, there are points that you think, why are they publishing that? When they start doing things like Dune, who needs another copy of Dune? It's been published all over the place. So this is a book by an author called Sterling E. Lanier, who's not one I'm overly familiar with. All I know is he is the reason that Dune actually got published. He pushed for it, and then he publishers, and then he lost his job. And this is called Hero's Journey. I actually quite like the cover. And this is quoted in the back of the original Dungeons and Dragons as one of Gary Gygax's inspirations. It's post-apocalyptic. It's set about 4,000 years after the apocalypse. And this guy is a telepath and a priest. I think what it says on the back is, per hero, Destine was a priest, a telepath, and a highly trained killer. 5,000 years after the apocalyptic event known as death, Hero is tasked with finding the secrets of the old world, which could protect his civilization from massing enemies. Just sounded intriguing. There's 2 books in this, so I just picked up this one, and I said, this is what SF Masterworks should be doing. The only thing that always annoys me about SF Masterworks is the quality of the paper. It's normally pretty poor. I just wish they do some slightly better quality paper on them. Really do. And my final book in this set of books is for part of my Alternative Visions ones, which is translated science fiction and science fiction from other countries, and not just science fiction, some fantasy. This is short stories, and this is edited by Gautam Bhatia, who I recently read The Wall by him, which I've got to do a video on, which was really good. And this is Between Worlds, and it's the IFT Anthology of New Indian Science Fiction and Fantasy, Volume 1. This glint a bit because it's in a plastic bit of shrink wrap. And I just thought it sounded interesting, and it was quite a newish book for me. So yeah, so that should be quite interesting. And that's it. I probably won't be buying any more new stuff for quite a while, but you never know, because I've realised I've got a lot of books. I've got a few of them. I do have a lot of books. But anyway, if you've read any of these, I'd love to hear your opinions of them. If you haven't, or if you're going to read them shortly, I'd love to hear it, because, hey, maybe I'll read them with you. But, yeah, so that's it for the moment, and I will speak to you all very soon, and bye for now.